Buddy, good to see you all. I just want to connect with you. You know, Jake and I have been working hard to get those. She does beautiful graphics to get the memes out each week to give you just some basics of, hey, what could I do with my business today? And we try to really keep it where we give you the verbiage, or if we have extra little videos or graphics or something that you need, we always put it in the comments section. And I had an interesting observation this morning because I was kind of racking my brain. I thought, wow, you know, we're working so hard and we come up with all of this, but I'm not seeing a lot of reaction. I'm not seeing a lot of participation. And I can go down and I can see who's seen the post. And I don't know if it's because when we post those, we post them in the album so that we have them all collected. You'll be able to go into the albums of Team Ignite, go to the Adding More Good. And if you're ever like, I just want something to do today, or I want some different resources, we thought, wouldn't it be great to have them all housed in one area? So the only way we can do that is we must post them in the albums. And then they don't come onto the page until we make a comment. So you'll most likely see I post it and I immediately make a comment so it shows up. What I noticed today is if I post, like even last week, I love that Unstoppable song by Sia, and we talked about that and did that at team meeting, and I posted that. And that was seen, I don't know, by 80 or 100 people or something like that. And when I go through these memes, these daily memes that we post to the album, we always have 6 to 11 people. But only 6 to 11 people are seeing those. So I think it's a Facebook kind of thing. I think they might not really be coming up. I don't know. Does somebody have an answer to that? Because our goal is we really want to help you have the tools. Does it come up on your feed, Olga? I noticed Olga and Dar, they always are on there, that they see them. How do you girls see them? Are you seeing them go through your news feed, or do you see them, you go to the page looking for them? You're muted.
On mute.
You're
I
good.
see it right on my face, on my posts for the
Really?
day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Notifications, is that what you mean, Olga?
Yeah, I think that's where it is, yeah.
Because that's where they're supposed to show up. Any kind of thing that we sign up for to be notified by should be in our notifications, right?
If you choose all notifications, yes, it should notify you that you've got a new post.
Okay. Well, what I would encourage everybody to do is go to Team Ignite on Facebook and go there under notifications and mark that you want to be notified of every new post in there, because that way it will go through your feed. And I really encourage you to teach your partners on your team to do the same, because it's too bad. We're giving verbiage, we're giving, you know, it should make where somebody could seriously sit down and in 30 minutes just come up with their list of people, copy paste. I mean, they'll tweak it a little bit to what they need, but our goal was to make it where anybody could do this, no matter how busy your schedule is, and that you can really see some success. So anything each of you can do to help on that so that people see all those goodies coming through would be great. Is that a good deal?
Yeah, I just was looking. I don't know why I didn't have it set up so that you can go in there to, if you click the 3 little dots on the right, there'll be an option to manage notifications. And then I just click the bubble that says all notification or all posts. So then that way it should automatically either pop up to my page and or in my notifications.
Awesome. Will you do a favor and just when we're done with meeting, take a screenshot of that and maybe put it on Team Ignite and say, hey, you know, because you're a veteran, so there are going to be other veterans and brand newbies that aren't going to know that either. So I think that must be it. There's some kind of algorithm, but it's definitely whenever I post anything in the album, and I really don't want to stop posting in the album, because it will be a place as we get new people to say, just go to this album. It's just full of great things that you can do and say and resources. So
well, and then even after this 90 days, if you want to do your own 90-day, you know, adding more good, you can just go back and do the whole 90 days again if you want to, or a week, or 30 days or whatever.
Good idea.
question though, when we go to the album, then we just see the memes. We just see the picture. So am I correct that you would still need to scroll through to find a specific day to see all the comments and verbiage under it?
And when
No.
you click on the picture, then it should have the comments and stuff. Well, if I do it on my laptop, if I click on the picture, the comments show up to the side. If I'm on my phone, they're below.
Okay.
So check
Okay.
that out. I wanted to just do a little something. I'm trying to put a little influx each time because, you know, I love that Tony Robbins virtual conference that I went to, and I thought it was so helpful for so many people. So I have 3 mandates for you today from Tony Robbins, okay? He was over at my house this weekend. We had dinner together. It was awesome. He's such a big dude, isn't he, Ron? Anyway, I visualize it like that. So here are 3 things that I really want you to think about. So you might want to jot them down, but you don't have to. First of all, he says, you need to see things as they truly are, but not worse than it is. Because people make the worst scenarios in their minds, and then they lower their expectations. So you need to always look at things, no matter what it is. I know we're talking business, so I'll refer it back to business, you know, but we're, a lot of us women, and even Ron as a man, you know, sometimes the way we see our bodies, you know, so many women are uncomfortable with their bodies, but are we seeing them worse than they are, right? It could be a relationship, it can be whatever. Do we take one situation and focus so much on that we make it worse than it really is? So he says, try to see things as they truly, truly are. So looking at your business, when you look at your business, do you go, oh, my business sucks right now, yet you're collecting $750 a month and you haven't done anything that month? Okay, see what I mean? Or maybe you're collecting $75 and you haven't done anything that month. Okay, if you don't want your $75, give it to me. I promise to use it. So what happens is we start lowering our expectations, he says, and then the fear of failure comes in. Let's see. And he says, what happens is then if we get this fear of failure, we lower expectations. Oh, I'm not really good at this Juice Plus thing anyway. Then what we do is we don't really have to look at ourselves. We no longer have to say, well, what could I do to make it better? Or I know I could reach more people. If we just shut down, we're able to just sit back and kind of ignore it, right? Maybe it's just going to magically get better the next month. So he says, no settling. You need to decide today, what do you really want? And don't settle. Don't settle for a so-so life. Anybody can have a so-so average life. Okay? You're meant to do great things. We're all put on this earth to do something wonderful. You can do this. Number 2, he says, see it better than it is. See your situation better than it is. And this is where he talked more and more about stop settling for just what you have. He says, even in the Bible, it says, without vision, people perish. So what is your vision? What can you see better for your business? Maybe you need certain structure to get to the next title reward. Maybe you need a certain dollar amount. Maybe, you know, whatever it is you need. Maybe just in your heart, you're like, gosh, my goals by the end of the year, I want to put 100 families on that children's health study. You know, whatever it is for you, but not telling yourself right away, well, that'll never happen. Or, you know, that never happens to me. Those are negatives. So we're going to get rid of that and have that vision. Okay. And number 3, make it the way that you're now seeing it. Make it the way that you see it. And to do that, he says, yeah, you're going to need some strategies. You're going to need the right strategies. You're going to need the philosophy to follow through, and you'll need the systems. I mean, he talks a lot about connect yourself with people who are actually doing it, you know, so that he says 80% of it is psychology. The other 20% is going to be your strategy and everything. So what do? We talked last week about getting in that beautiful state of mind, you know, that's why we stood up and we were dancing to that Unstoppable song. We had to change our physiology. So before you get ready to work each day, if you're just really down, that's not the time to do it. You know, put on some music, get going, whatever you need to do. He says, you don't measure success by the scoreboard. You measure it by, did you give your all? Did you meet your potential? And I think that's what we need to be looking at, instead of each time, you know how it feels if you go to a conference and you see all these people get up on stage and they get promotions and you're thinking, I didn't get my promotion again. Oh, I didn't get my promotion again. Okay, but did you give it your all? Did you do all out massive action for that 6 months in between conference? Were you really going for it? Because then you should feel really good about what you're doing, right? Because you know that you've grown and that you've made an impact, and something had to be growing, right? Not, maybe everything doesn't go perfectly, but if you just kind of dabbled in it here and there and come back and then you go and then you come back, that's not quite it. And he says, check your energy. Where's your energy? If you're on a scale from 1 to 10, where's your energy when you get ready to do your business? He says, think about going on a date. If you get all excited and you get all ready and you want to go on a date, do you want to date somebody that has a 5 energy? He says, that's the same with business. Do you want to do business with somebody? Is that a 5, 4, 3? No. You're probably not going to choose to keep dating that person. You're probably not going to align yourself with that person. I know I had some gals here that I always worked with, and there was one powerhouse. She wasn't on our team, but she was a powerhouse Juice Plus rep. She was super pumped, super excited, and she would go into their workplace and she was just like talking to everybody, and they're like, oh, well, she just takes everybody. And that's what I thought of when I thought that. You know why? Because people are attracted to that. They want to be with somebody who's doing the do. They want to be with somebody that's excited about it. You know, I guess that's when I look at Ron and his passion for tower gardens. I just see him, it's like breaks his heart when somebody buys a tower garden from somebody and then that person gives them no assistance. They're not concerned about making sure they have a great experience. So do you think the next person that comes along, they're going to be more likely to want to buy a tower garden from Ron or from somebody who says, oh yeah, they're really cool, I don't use mine, right? I mean, you want to go with the person with that energy. And let's see how we're doing on time. If you have a piece of paper, this might make more sense if you just draw 4 squares, 2 up and 2 down on your paper. And then just draw arrows connecting each square. So an arrow going clockwise, an arrow, and then an arrow between these 2 squares, an arrow and an arrow going up. Does that make sense? Sure it does. You're so smart. He says, we're going to talk about his momentum model. By the way, he says, nobody can create momentum for you. You can't put that on anybody else. He says, your momentum is 100% up to you. But momentum is the difference between success and failure. And he says the hardest part is always starting. And I always remember when I went to Gold's Gym, they had quotes all over the wall. And one of them says something about, you know, you're already here. The hardest part was getting here. Because, you know, once you walk in the gym, what are you going to do? Just stand and watch everybody? Right? But it's, again, I changed my physiology. I went to the gym. I started. This morning, you could see I was just struggling. Ron's like, go do your walk, go do your walk. You know, finally, once I said, well, you know, my feet hurt, I'll just do, oh, now it's garbage day. I hate walking past all the stinky garbages. I'm just going to do a lap around the neighborhood. No, I still did my whole walk, because once I got out there, I was okay. I just had to get out and do it. So that's a lot with Juice Plus. And that's why we were so hoping if we just have these memes and you just say, this is my time, I'm going to do it. I put on some music, I moved around, I put my mind in the right place. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how many people can I impact with this? How many kids are going to poop easier just because they have Juice Plus? That's like the number one thing people tell me. So in the first box on the left, put potential. He says, we all have potential, but we don't all have results. Why is that? So the next box is action. So the box on the left is potential. The box to the right is action. He says, what happens is we give a little bit of action. We think we're working, but in our mind, we don't really believe it's going to work. And then we get little results. Or we think, oh, this person, they're probably going to say no. I don't want to call my customers. They're probably going to tell me not to ship another box. You know, you get all those crazy thoughts in your head, the negatives. Instead of thinking, who told me just the other day that they started using, I'm sorry, I talked to so many people. They started using these memes and we started letting you know, contact your customers and let them know, hey, I'm loving the Omegas or I'm loving the Complete. I see your order's about to ship. You know, would you like me to add this to your order? And they're adding it and they're getting excited about it. And people are now saying, oh my gosh, I used to do those calls saying, oh, I wonder if they're going to cancel their order. And now it's just coming out of my mouth more. Oh my gosh, well, of course, I love this product. Why wouldn't I offer it to them? They're probably going to want it too. They're going to love it too. So it's changing that mindset. So anyway, we have potential, we have action, and then we have results. Just remembering when you do a little action, you're going to get little to no results. And if you keep doing this, little action, little results, little action, little results, he says, you'll just spiral downward. Pretty soon, you just don't even take action. And then the last box on the left to go around, so that bottom left box is certainty and belief. So here is your moment now that you're wearing your bra. We're going to stand up. I can't see it. Okay, so if you stand up, and I just want you to point at me. And probably most of you have done this activity, but every time I do it, it's a really good reminder to me. So I'm going to have you do it again. So everybody's just pointing at me with their index finger. Yeah, you're going, you're number one. No, just kidding. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this finger and I want you to turn to the right and go as far as you can. And once you, don't do it yet. Once you get there, notice where your finger is and then bring it back around. Ready? So let's go. Far, reach, 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 reach. Okay, I've got my place. Have you got yours? I'm in a hole. I'm going to have to come up. Okay, now I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to envision that you just did that and the spot you're at. And I want you to envision your finger going farther, like so much farther, not a couple inches, but farther, 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 like doing 90% more, 180 degrees more. Just really envision that finger going farther. You ready? Now point at me. Okay, let's turn. Envision, 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 envision. Where? Oh, how far? How far? How far? Are you still going? Come back. How many people had their finger go farther, maybe much farther the second time? Did that happen for everybody or some?
Until I got a cramp.
Now we got to do the other side just to stretch that out.
I got a cramp too, Jake.
Oh my gosh. This is the kind of vision we have to have for our mind. says it works the same way. Why did your finger just go so much farther? Because you could envision it. And so when you sit down to do this for your own self, just start envisioning, because especially if we've been in for a while, sometimes it's like, well, I used to get 5 new customers every month, but, I haven't done that in a long time. I'm probably all out of people. Or do we envision, oh my gosh, the company is having record growth every month, March, April, May, June, July. I'm going to have record growth in my business. I'm going to be part of that. Do you see the difference of how we're thinking about our business? So when you sit down to do your business, it's not just about how to do it and the activities. We can give you the how. We just did that with the memes. But it needs to be, why are you doing this? And what are you going to get out of it? What's your vision? What's your vision? Are you happy to just stay in a box? Or do you ready to just say, I'm going to bust out of that box? Okay, that's a nice, comfy, cozy box. And stuff I'm telling you might make you feel very non-cozy and uncomfortable. But he said, that's the only time we're growing. If you're always comfortable, you're not growing. And he said, if you're not growing, you're dying. He said, there's absolutely no in between. There's not, well, I'm just going to kind of coast. I'm going to stay where I'm at. He says, there's no such thing as that. You're growing or you're dying. Okay. So I'm not trying to be a downer. I guess that's kind of a downer. But he says, rehearse in your mind, rehearse, rehearse, rehearse. What do you see as those results? What do you see as happening? Get clear on them. Clarity is so important. And that when you can really rehearse and see those clear results, that's when you start getting big results. The brain sees that you can do it. Your brain just saw that your finger could go farther. Your brain saw that. You probably went much farther than you even expected. And then it comes down to us. We've got our brain engaged. We know why we're doing what we want out of it. We have clear results in our mind, but then it takes us. It takes us doing massive action. And he's all about, you have to do the massive action every day, every day, every day, even if it's for a short time of the day. Because if you turn it on and turn it off and turn it on and turn it off, it says you will not grow. You're gonna be stuck. You're gonna say things like, I'm stuck. Because you never just put the pedal to the metal and just go for it. So he gave me a lot to think about on that. And I'll just end this with some of my favorite my favorite thing that he just kept saying is, just always believe life is happening for us, not to us. Life is happening. This opportunity came in our laps for some reason, right? It came here for us. It's not happening to us. So yeah, I have a lot of things I could say, but let's just end it with that. I think that's enough for you to chew on for a day. And anybody else that was at Tony with me, you might even have different notes. Remember, this has gone from Tony through my brain. My perception is coming out to you. So if any of you that were also at that conference want to add to any of this or clarify something, please do. But you have to unmute yourselves.
I don't have my notes in front of me, so I'm not sure.
Yeah. Me either, but I do like the way you said it. And I remember envisioning the part that he said, stand up and point, and I was like, oh, that's as far as I can go. And I was shocked when I closed my eyes, envisioned it. And then I turned and I'm like, oh my gosh, what? So that was great because so many things we can use that for. So many things that you can envision. So yeah, I like that part. I don't have my notes on it either.
What was it? Was it this exercise that we did that he said something like, now go all the way around, like, which isn't possible. Like, was this the exercise?
Yeah, he did say that. I thought about that because it made me think of an owl. But even this time when I did it and envisioned, I cannot believe how much farther my finger, like my first time I did it, I was like, I'm going to bust this myth. I really am going to stretch back as far as I can. But there's something about your brain telling you that. It's absolutely incredible.
I just like that it was like thinking beyond maybe I don't know if it was what we know is possible, because your body can't turn 360, but
Yeah.
he just wanted you to really just stretch what your mind can even fathom.
Yeah. Thanks for bringing that up, because that stuck out to me too. Like, Tony.
First time he said it, I was like, what? I'm supposed to what? I don't think I can do that.
That's true.
That's incredible. Just know your minds are powerful. We have to be in the right mindset when we get ready to work each day. And it stuck out to me too, as soon as he started talking about, what's your energy? What are you bringing out to people? Like, why would somebody want to do business with me? What's my energy? How am I sharing with them? How, what is my belief and conviction coming across? And I just like the whole idea of the date, because like I've been with Ron for 40 years, but I'm just trying to think, wow, if I had a date, if somebody was just kind of like a lump, and I'd be later.
Yeah. That's true.
I didn't attend this, but I've heard Tony speak many times, and he said that we're never stuck. We're just not committed.
Oh, he did talk about that's really good too, isn't it? Yeah, it's just and some people, they don't know what they want to commit to, because, it takes a lot to really figure out your why of why am I doing this? Especially if you're comfortable. I think that's even more difficult. I know we have people that are like, more money would always be nice, but I'm comfortable where I'm at. I'm not like dying for food or clothing or housing or something. So I think sometimes that makes it more difficult for us. But if we keep envisioning what our life could be, although he really warns against, to keep your joy, you must be grateful for what you have. And he really talked about like people in India. He's like, what the heck? You can go down there, there's poor as it can be, but they're happy and they want to share what they have with you. And then you can come here and you have people that have, everything, but they're not fulfilled and they don't have joy. So, so always be grateful where you're at. He said, that's why when you do that priming that we talked about last time, that he envisions at least 3 things every day and just is grateful, like through prayer. What are things you're grateful for? And I like that he said, you don't always have to be grateful for something big, but it can be, that it rained yesterday and just the way the rain felt against your cheeks. That you're alive, you're above ground, you got to feel that, you got to witness that. Just think of all the things, if you were just put in a hole somewhere, what would you miss? And be grateful for everything, big and small. So
when Marilyn Joyce came to Nebraska to speak, it was a person who had gone, she had been given like 2 weeks to live. She had stage 4 cancer. And in her story, she talks about how her daughter took her to a home show, which was crazy, because she said, when you go to a home show, that's for people planning their life. And she says, I was planning my funeral. But she said she heard this crazy loud machine, and it turned out to be a Vitamix. And she ended up drinking this blended cantaloupe, and she actually was able to keep it down. And so she started, actually, she bought one and she started feeling better, and she started going to this guy who taught her about gratitude. And she's like, so she had to write down things that she was grateful for every day. And she says, I'm dying. How can I be grateful for anything? And so she said, I think she was in a hotel, and she just looked out the window, and the only thing that she could be thankful for was the sunshine. It's the only thing in her life that she could think of at that moment to be grateful for. So I think that she wrote that down even 3 times, because that was the only thing. So there's always something that, even if we have to really, really think. And I started doing a gratitude journal, and I haven't done it for a while, and I need to get back to it. And I was writing down 5 things. And when I first started, it was really hard to come up with 5 different things every day. But the more that I did it, the more it was like my brain just automatically found 5 things. And then I noticed that I was writing even more than that, because you've got to train your brain. Like you were saying earlier in this training, Susie, how our brains typically go to the negative. Well, that's the neurological pathways that we've probably created. And we live in a very, very negative society. That's why I've turned off the news. I don't look at the news anymore. I don't listen to mainstream media at all. And I even have to turn off Facebook and unfollow people who are negative, because I don't want that negativity in my life. So I want to create those positive neurological pathways in my brain so that it's easier for my brain to go to those positive thoughts. But it's something that we've got to work on and train ourselves to do.
Yep. Because I feel like we start out as children and we have those joys and we just get excited over anything, you know, and we were just laughing today. My little granddaughter's going to be 2 next month, and she's sitting on a little potty, and she gets up and she's just strutting around completely naked. And we're just laughing, just saying, yeah, you know, since the time in the garden now, we don't have that, you know, and you're just all confident. And I had her go wake up Ron today, and he's had a really hard week, but she doesn't know that. She doesn't go to that. So she looked at him and she's jumping around in the bed and she goes, happy, happy, happy. You tell me he couldn't smile after looking at that. She'd do that, and then she'd just be like, so it was just like a little bit of Maya medicine, but it is, if we can get back to there, what was there to be happy that she could jump on the bed? You know, it's just finding out of the way kids.
So now, is that how you're going to start waking Ron up, Susie? Is jumping up and down naked? Happy.
I think I already drive him nuts, because I will. I'll tell him, I got to see a smile. I got to see a smile soon.
That's wonderful.
Well, you guys have a fabulous week. I hope this, you know, isn't something we just talk about today, but think about it, because it can improve all aspects of your life, and it'll empower you to go out there and make an impact. So, and please do change your notifications and help some other teammates do that, so we get more people getting the goodies each day, and we'll keep plugging along. So,
Thank you, ladies. Woo!
All right. So good.